everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, February 21st, 2021. Happy Valentine's Day again. With all of the preemptions last week, we're getting Valentine's Day a week late, but I choose to look at it like we're getting two Valentine's Days this year. Two for the price of one. Thank you. Thank you, Y&R. You know, I always count on Y&R to get me in the mood for the holidays, and I realized that I missed that this year. I missed that last week. I loved all of the splashes of red that were just all over this week's show. I loved Elena's outstanding bright red lipstick as she was giving Nate that ugly shirt. It's just my style. Oh. And, of course, Crimson Lights was cheesily decorated just like we would expect it to be, complete with fresh baked heart cookies in the bakery case. Side note, for all of the old sets that end up getting upgraded and redecorated badly, the Crimson Lights set upgrade is like the best of the best. This great set upgrade just makes up for all of the bad set upgrades that we've had in the past. Crimson Lights is the place that I would want to be on Valentine's Day, and Y&R knows they had better keep that bakery case looking fresh and rotated because I'm looking. That bakery case is the first place that my eyes go to whenever we are at Crimson Lights, and I am expecting it to be filled with some Easter stuff by next week. I better see some peeps in there, some bunnies, some chicks. Valentine's Day will be behind us and we'll be ready for Easter. But sticking with Valentine's Day for a little while longer, not all of the Valentine's Day elements were red and kitschy, because I really have to appreciate Phyllis wearing that decadent, velvety chocolate brown dress with a leopard print clutch that she had sitting on the table at Society during her romantic evening with Nick. And then Nick's gift to Phyllis was bouquet after bouquet of exotic flowers. I thought that was a really nice departure for Valentine's Day, a nice departure from tradition, because Phyllis is anything but traditional. So I was impressed with Nick's gift, and then Phyllis volleyed back to Nick by giving him the gift of the newest, hottest video game, Prime Aggression 6. OMG. Have you played Prime Aggression 4 and 5? They were amazing. So I'm sure that the 6th installment of Prime Aggression is going to be incredible. Oh. And Amanda and Devon had their classic puppy dog love moment that I appreciated. I mean, they got each other the same gift. How cliche is that? Massages at the Grand Phoenix. I liked it. I was for it. But I really feel that my favorite part of Valentine's Day, I wonder if you'll agree with me, had to be Billy and Lily. I mean, first of all, Lily in her all black dress, standing in her office, surrounded by a trail of red foil wrapped heart chocolates. She looked stunning, all black, and then just red foil shining in a trail that led to her with a beautiful single red rose on her desk, put there by Billy. Yes, romance, give it to me. And I thought that Billy's riddle joke riddle, I thought it was cute. I thought it was dorkily cute, but cute. And Lily liked it too. She seemed to appreciate it because she gave Billy the greatest compliment that he's ever received after his gesture of romance for her. She told him that he's becoming more and more like John Abbott every day. Oh, I don't know if that's true, but I loved the sentiment. I loved the moment. I loved just taking that beat to remember John Abbott and to remind the viewers that Billy is a part of John, no matter how much he doesn't tend to act like his father on a regular basis. But I loved that sentiment, and I loved that Lily returned Billy's sentiment from a couple of weeks ago. Told him that she's falling in love with him too. Aww. So all of that buildup of Billy kind of alluding to it and saying it and Lily not responding, kind of dancing around the topic, was leading up to a Valentine's Day I love you. That is just a nice cherry on top of the Valentine's Day sugar cookie inside of the Crimson Lights bakery case. It's just too bad that Victoria had to walk in to the middle of Billy and Lily's little romantic game. And then Katie had to conveniently fall on some ice. Yeah, ice is hard. She had to fall on some ice, hurt her arm, so that Billy could come back to Victoria's house to remind her of how happy he is with Lily now. That was a bit much for me. I am happy that you're happy, Billy, but you don't have to keep bringing it up. Like, he initiated the conversation with Victoria by saying, I'm not really convinced that you're actually happy for me, that you actually want me to be happy. Well, geez, man. What more do you want? Just let it go. You don't have to keep bringing it up. Just be happy and then soldier forward forever in ex relationship awkwardness with Victoria like any normal person would. And then there was my own personal Valentine, Don Diamond, my own personal Valentine's Day gift, like a box of chocolates from Josh Griffith himself. Welcome to Genoa City, Bill Spencer. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. I enjoyed that way too much. It was the highlight of my week. Man, Don Diamond looks good. You have got to admit, at 58 years old, he is buff and he is beautiful. Or some might say bold and beautiful, but I think buff fits the bill too. Pretty good for the guy who started out as the Abbott family gardener, I believe it was. I am telling you, if there is ever a mysterious limousine parked up at the Casey's gas station up the street from my house, just say goodbye to me because mommy is gone. I'm gone forever to run away with Don Diamond. Maybe I will send a postcard. from Los Angeles, from on the set of The Bold and the Beautiful, because of course now I'm married to Don, and because of COVID, I now have a role on The Bold and the Beautiful. I'm a full cast member, so I can feel free to kiss and cuddle and touch and just be all up on him while they film it. He just tickles me. He just really tickles me. I mean, I really feel objectively. I feel completely objectively, and from a neutral party on the topic of Bill Spencer, I really feel that this crossover was much better than the Summer Kyle crossover to LA. And it's not just because I love Bill. I think that this one was thrilling. He has presence. He just really knows how to walk into a room and shake it up just by being himself. I mean, flirting with Lauren right out of the gate. I don't approve of it on a regular basis because Lauren belongs to Michael, but on just a purely one-day basis, I was so thrilled because Lauren and Brad were quite hot back in the day. I mean, I remember thinking that their pairing was especially sexy. I mean, it was so sexy, she gave him a heart attack during sex. It doesn't get any better than that. They never really got the love thing going full steam, though. They never really were able to pull off love, but sex they seem to do pretty well. And then, I mean, alluding to the years of rivalry between Jack and Brad, and Bill called Jack Jackrabbit? I mean, Jack Abbott. Jackrabbit. No, I mean, Jack Abbott, Dagnabbit. I mean, that is witty. Whoever is writing for Bill Spencer needs to write for Adam and maybe Billy. And if you think about it, it's almost like Brad and Billy are sort of similar. If you squint, they could potentially look similar and they have similar types of attitudes. But I just really liked the lines that he was given to say. And I think it's all about the delivery, and his delivery was on point. I enjoyed this so much. I mean, Brad slyly, not even Brad, no, sorry, Bill, because he's definitely Bill slyly asking about Jack's sisters, because he was married to both Ashley and Tracy. I mean, I think this is great, but I will admit that if you're not familiar with the character of Brad, then Bill's aggression toward Jack might have seemed a little bit out of left field, but for the viewers who remember them, it was like picking up right where they left off. I could just hear Brad calling Jack Jacko, and I know Peter Bergman was probably dying to call him Bradsky. It was Jacko and Bradsky, and I'm sure that Peter Bergman and Don Diamont got a couple of those in behind the scenes. I wonder if there's any behind the scenes footage of Don's day at Y&R, his day back at Y&R. Oh, I would love to see that if anybody can point me in the direction of some bonus content. Yeah. I also thought that Bill had some good scenes with Sally. I thought that he was funny with her, yet he was ominous with her too, which is a bizarre but yet satisfying combination. Funny, but ominous. They ran into each other at Society, and he clearly was trying to breeze past her, did not want to have an interaction, but she interrupted him, and he had to stop, and he says, I knew it. I had this feeling. It was something along the lines of puking that I was going to run into you here. I mean, were you not charmed by those jokes? I was charmed. 12. Yes, Sally definitely sees Bill as a threat to her future. And that's interesting. Sally actually warned Summer to stay away from Bill. And I thought to myself, well, I don't think that Bill has any intentions of trying to take over JCV, maybe use Summer as a tool to do that. I mean, if he did, it would be a great twist and a really great excuse for more crossovers. But I don't think that's where Y&R is going. I mean, I don't know. Bill's not really even on The Bold and the Beautiful as much that I've seen lately. He seems more to get trotted out as opposed to being really, really folded into any of the deep storylines that are going on right now. Then again, I don't watch it all that closely. But yeah, I thought to myself, well, gee, I don't know that Bill is really a threat to Sally now, but what that interaction with Bill told me about Sally was that, her intention for Summer isn't necessarily all bad. Because, I mean, here, Sally was trying to warn Summer about Bill. I mean, she could have let Summer get involved with Bill and learn that lesson the hard way, but instead it was clear that she was trying to warn her, do her a little bit of a favor. Sally also could have told Summer that Kyle didn't tell Summer the whole truth about the, what did Theo call it last week? The Rugrat bomb. The Rugrat bomb that Kyle failed to mention to her. Kyle did not tell Summer the whole truth about Sally and Theo's threat. And then Summer and Sally came face to face, and Summer told Sally that she knew all about Kyle's affair, and now here Sally has an opportunity to blow up Kyle's world, to give Summer that little detail about a potential son. And yet Sally chose not to do that. And I thought that said a little something about her character. There's a part of me that wonders if Sally, in a vulnerable kind of way, had kind of wanted to be friends with Summer. Or that at least maybe she saw Summer as being a potential ally for her, someone who she could connect with, but then Summer turned around and started kicking up all the dust, and that wasn't possible. I mean, people go after the same job all the time. And I never really got the impression that Sally was trying to steal Kyle. If anybody is saying now that Sally was trying to steal Kyle, that feels like a rewrite to me. That feels like Y&R trying to make that true. I'm starting to wonder if maybe Sally really was looking for a new home in Genoa City. She was being sincere, wanting to make some friends, and instead, Summer and Kyle kind of spit in her face. Yeah, Kyle told Summer all about his Hamptons affair with a woman named Tara Locke, and Kyle also tells Summer about Tara's dangerous older husband, Ashland, I believe it's Ashland Locke, also known as the Loch Ness Monster. And he is apparently so rich and so powerful that he has probably done business with both Victor Newman and John Abbott. Wow. Well, what about John Abbott Jr.? Do we think Jack has done any business with Mr. Ashland Locke? That would be kind of an interesting tie-in for the future when Jack finds out about all of this. And also this whole having the affair with the married woman, with the powerful husband. This whole gig sounds a whole lot like some kind of trouble that Billy Abbott would have gotten himself into. Sleeping with the wrong married woman sounds a little more Billy to me. I wonder what he'll have to say about all of this. Oh, but Kyle conveniently leaves out the part about the potential child that he has with Tara. And I can maybe understand why Kyle might want to confirm that part of the story first, before telling Summer or telling anyone else, because at this point it's all speculation. I mean, all Theo said was that the child kind of looked like Kyle, and I don't know. I think Kyle should have told Summer about the possibility, but at the same time, I kind of understand why he didn't. I have a bad feeling that Summer's gonna get kidnapped or something by this Loch Ness monster guy. And like maybe that's how she's gonna find out that Kyle has a kid. I mean, they've made him so ominous. I have no idea if he's ever gonna actually materialize on screen. We do tend to have a lot of ominous off-screen things happening, but I have no idea if we're ever gonna actually see him. But Kyle has made very clear that if this guy finds out that he was the one that had the affair with his wife, then he's going to come after everyone that Kyle loves, and that includes Summer. And that made me think, oh boy, is there any chance she really could be in some kind of danger? That is also kind of a Billy Abbott move, right? Billy and his gambling debts, getting Victoria kidnapped. Maybe that's why I'm making the connection. It's also entirely possible that Kyle will simply confess to Summer. He tried calling Tara on Friday to get some answers about all of this, and she shut him down with a return text. She did not answer that voicemail. She just shot him back a text and said, "Do not call me again." And Summer walked in on that call, and it kind of looks like she's also going to walk in on Kyle, maybe doing a Google image search of this kid, maybe looking for some of the Kyle Abbott charm in that boy's face. I would like to know if the child is actually Kyle's. I mean, we don't really know that yet. I wonder if the child is Kyle's, and if so, will Kyle decide to tell Summer sooner rather than later, or is he just going to let this continue to be a secret? I mean, I read a casting update that a woman named Elizabeth Liner, you know how I am with names. She's been cast as Tara Locke, and it's going to be a recurring role. She's scheduled to make her first appearance on Monday, March 1st. So we're getting a Tara. We're getting a new character. So much for budget cuts. Phyllis has a tight eye on this Danny Spectra. Oh, wait, I mean Sally Spectra. Why do I keep making that mistake? Sally Spectra. It's not Danny, it's Sally. But you could see how I would make that mistake, certainly. Yeah, Phyllis is really keyed in to Sally, and she tells Nick that she knows that something's up between Summer and Kyle, and if Sally Spectra causes Summer any trouble, has anything to do with it, like, for instance, coming in between Summer and Kyle, then Sally is going to have Phyllis to deal with. Now, this kind of annoyed me that Phyllis mentioned to Nick that, well, Sally just wants everything that Summer has. She's thirsty. Sally wants Summer and Kyle. Phyllis was telling the story to Nick like Sally wants Summer's job and her man. Okay, we all know that Sally wants Summer's job, but again, I say, so what? People compete for the same job all the time, especially in a high-level executive position. But what has Sally ever really done to show any interest in Kyle? Like, she maybe mildly flirted with Kyle when she first came into town, but it was in the same way that she mildly flirts with everyone, like every man, just to kind of charm them. But Sally has not really made a play for Kyle. So where did that comment from Phyllis come from? This feels like a rewrite to me, and I don't like it. I'm starting to open myself up to Sally a little more now. I think maybe seeing Bill put the pressure on her did that for me. And there was a significant moment early in the week when Sally and Jack were bonding over travel. And she's talking like she would really like to have Jack Abbott stamp her passport. And I got the impression that Jack saw that, noted it, felt uncomfortable by it, and started to pull away. He said to her, actually, no, I think travel is something that's best done on its own. You should do that on your own. It was awkward. And it ended their little non-date, because I'm still having trouble fully accepting that it could be an actual date at all. But, maybe if Sally were sincere about a friendship with Summer, because again, Sally's had some opportunities to just let it be all out war. Maybe if Sally is sincere about trying to mend things with Summer, which she's tried to do many times, then maybe she could be sincere about more than a friendship with Jack. I don't know. When Sally walked away, Jack had his hands on his face, just looking like a puppy dog in love. Like she left the room and he just had his hands on his face and he was just looking very lovelorn. And I don't know, I just thought to myself, is Jack fallen for Sally? Is Jack just entertained by Sally? Is Jack reminded of himself when he sees Sally? Or is he reminded of maybe Phyllis when he sees Sally? There's so many questions, and I really wish that we could get some of Jack's inner dialogue here. I want to know what Jack is thinking. Is there any chance that he could have a stroke so that we could get some voiceovers going? Look, we all knew that Adam and Sharon were going to get back together. This is where it's been headed all along, and the COVID loophole sealed it. But I have to say, I would have liked to have seen Sharon and Ray being happy together for at least a little while longer. I can accept an Adam and Sharon reunion. I'll get there. I mean, I'm all for the hotness. But the last time we saw Sharon and Ray together, they were getting back from their honeymoon. We didn't even get a couple of cute newlywed scenes. I mean, they've only been married for a month and a half. Sharon and Ray they got married on New Year's Eve. They didn't even make it to Valentine's Day before Sharon was back jonesing for her drug of choice, Adam. Adam. Suddenly a real sticking point here. I mean, after Ray walked in to his house and saw Adam and Sharon holding hands, no matter how friendly they can say it was, Ray had had enough. That was his final straw. He threw down an ultimatum and insisted that Sharon stop seeing Adam at all in any way. And Ray was so good in those scenes. Finally, some passion, some anger, some fire out of Ray. And his position is so understandable to me. Sharon is not his girlfriend anymore. She's his wife. And that should mean something. I totally connected with Ray saying, just once, Sharon, I need you to put my needs ahead of Adam's. You always choose Adam. Always. How much more do you expect me to take? This is your ex-husband. He's not just a friend that you're helping out. This is your ex-husband. You've been married. You've been passionate. And not only that, but she slept with Adam when she was with Ray before. It's like a recurring problem for him, for Ray. I loved that Y&R connected Sharon and her relationship with Adam back into Ray's own mother, Celeste. Brilliant. This was brilliant of Lola to bring up. Because, ever since Theo left the show, we've all been predicting that Ray's sister, Lola, would be doomed to follow him. She just has no story now. But when I think about it, honestly, Lola's advisory role in Ray's life is really no different than, for instance, Tessa's role on the show. There's Lola and Tessa, they just have no story of their own. They're there to support the other characters, and that's okay. I mean, Lola's still on her way out the door, but I really enjoyed the perspective that she had on Ray and Sharon's situation. It really folded back in that Rosales family history that I know I've been missing. Lola drew this surprisingly insightful parallel between Sharon and Celeste, and it was weird. It was weird at first for Ray, considering Lola was basically comparing his wife to his mother, of all people. But it was a really good point. When the man that you really want is out there, no matter how wrong, maybe you know it is, maybe other people tell you that it is, you will keep making excuses to be with them. That is exactly what Celeste did with their father, and that is what Sharon does with Adam. She makes excuses, finds excuses, capitalizes on excuses to be with Adam. And it was also Lola that reminded Ray that he's been cheated on before. That's the thing. Mia and Arturo had not only sex behind Ray's back, but they had a love affair going on. They were in love behind Ray's back, and he was completely clueless. So Ray is no stranger to this. This is hitting all of Ray's sore spots, and Sharon has been oblivious to that. Sharon, for Ray, was supposed to be different. And if Ray isn't good enough for Sharon, can we give him to Victoria, maybe? Something? No, and that doesn't even work, because then Ray would just be trapped in another love triangle, because Victoria would just be wanting Billy and settling for Ray. Like, Ray just seems doomed to last place. I guess it's true what they say. Nice guys finish last. I mean, this guy, even on Valentine's Day, when things between he and Sharon are strained, he doesn't know yet anything that's gone on, totally in the dark. He just knows his feelings, and he's upset with Sharon. And even on Valentine's Day, he's the greatest guy, putting his own pain and issues aside to help Sharon talk through her troubles with Faith. reassuring her that she's a good mother, giving her advice to actually deal with her daughter and to repair that relationship, standing there looking at Faith's photo album with Sharon, listening to her stories, listening to her wax sentimental about her daughter, and then heating her up some cider on top of it all. Yeah, that's super lame. That guy Ray, lame. I can totally see why she can't get Adam off of her mind. Who would want Ray being all perfect and everything and heating you up some apple cider when you could have Adam? Oh, Adam's got the sex appeal is really what it is. That's if all things are considered equal, then once again, I will argue that what it is that Ray's all nice and good and he's the perfect husband and that's fine, but he doesn't hit it in the bedroom as good as Adam does. I think you know I'm right. Well, let's get into it. After Ray made his feelings known about Adam, told Sharon that it's time for her to make a choice. She either needs to choose him or Adam, and if she chooses him, then it needs to be no more Adam. So they have an argument. Sharon leaves the house. She heads out to Society, where Adam and Victor were having a chat, just like I was hoping for, but they spent nearly the entire conversation talking about Sharon. Victor was questioning Adam about his intention with Sharon, talking about Sharon, if Adam's just using Sharon to help Chelsea so that he can keep Sharon in his orbit. Sharon. It's all about Sharon. Well, what about Victor and Adam's relationship? Oh, Victor did top off the conversation with Adam by showing a little bit of vulnerability by saying, well, I know you changed your name, but may I still call you son? Circle yes or no on this note and leave it in my locker after lunch. That's the relationship that I want to focus on. And it was like 25% of the conversation, whereas Sharon was 75% of it. Adam doesn't need anybody to talk to about Sharon. He's got it covered. He's plenty of talking, plenty of thinking about Sharon. And after Victor leaves, Sharon shows up. She materializes. She must have known. Adam's on the way to the men's room. Sharon calls out to him, and they start having that age-old conversation. Oh, how many times have we heard it before? Talking all about how they shouldn't be seeing each other anymore. And it just erupted. That conversation just erupted into real kisses. Oh, that's right. Not fantasy kisses. Real kisses. The kind that requires saliva. Dirty virus-bearing saliva. And now, Adam and Sharon have a secret to cover up together. Oh, yes. Now they have to cover it up together. Just stay away from me, Adam. As I was saying before we locked lips, just stay away from me. You're ruining my life. I want to be happy. I want to be happy and sexually unfulfilled. I mean, come on. How did Sharon make it all the way through counseling Adam directly, like meeting in the dingy hotel room together? How'd she make it all the way through that? And Adam later proclaiming his love to her, saying he wanted to be be with her, putting it all on the table right before her wedding. She still chose Ray. How'd she make it through all that without kissing him? Only to be kissing him now. Not even 2 months after she's a married woman. Well, I guess it's at least good that we've moved out of the realm of Chelsea's fantasies of Adam and Sharon kissing, because that was getting pretty lame. I guess I'd rather have real kisses than fantasy kisses. Chelsea, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with Chelsea. It's just another day, another velour jumpsuit. It was brown, and now it's purple. How many more velour jumpsuits does Chelsea have? Are we going to taste the rainbow? If I were Chelsea, I'd be ticked off at Adam, not about the Sharon stuff, but about the lack of creativity that he has been putting into my wardrobe. I'm losing touch with Chelsea. I'm sorry. I'm losing touch with her. As someone else mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I can't tell anymore if Chelsea loves Adam, wants to be with him, or if she hates Adam and like wants to be rid of him. She's always giving him dirty looks. As dirty as she can muster with her limited mobility. But the voiceovers are always so angry and so snarky toward him. It's clear she doesn't trust him, clear she doesn't believe him. So does she want him? Or I don't think so. Is she feeling trapped by him? Maybe just as much as he's feeling trapped by her? Well, as soon as Nick finds out that Sharon and Ray are having problems, courtesy of Mariah, Nick storms the penthouse. He goes over, makes a big scene, calls Adam out about his intentions with Sharon in front of Chelsea. Nick put Adam on notice right in front of Chelsea, and it was so inappropriate. Chelsea is sitting there all helpless. I mean, we all know she can hear. And Nick just aired it all right in front of her. I mean, how is that supposed to make Chelsea feel? She's sitting there completely helpless to do anything while Nick is basically accusing Adam of coming on to another woman. Nick... He had absolutely no business being there at all. If Nick had any kind of relationship with Adam, then I could maybe see him saying, all right, Adam's my brother, Ray's my buddy. I'm going to go over there, see what's going on, see if I can talk some sense into the situation. But that's not what happened. And Nick just needed to butt out of this one. I mean, I did enjoy the drama because I think Nick needs a little something more to do than Phyllis. It was inappropriate. I enjoy Josh Morrow, though, especially now. I enjoy him so much more as Nick than I ever did in the past. And I thought it was a little bit fun watching Nick waving his arms around the penthouse at Adam like it's Jersey Shore. Come at me, bro! Even with Ray out of the way, even if Ray was a complete non-factor, it's still is not going to be smooth sailing for Adam and Sharon. Ray can walk off into the sunset. Chelsea's a big whatever. Faith is the real future obstacle for Adam and Sharon, and I think that's very interesting. Faith gets suspended from school this week. The administration found vodka, her known drink of choice, in her locker. So Faith claims that someone set her up. It wasn't her vodka. Somebody planted it. And I completely believe her. I absolutely think somebody planted it. only to turn around and snitch her out. And I think that someone was Jordan. I don't know if Jordan even goes to Faith's school. I know she's older, so I don't know. Does she go to the school? If she doesn't, she probably had someone on the inside to do it. Jordan is a little psychopath in the making. It is definitely all her. It's all Jordan in the same way that it was all Alyssa. I think that when Sharon alienated Jordan a few weeks ago, called her out, told her to stay away from Faith, I think that's when Jordan decided that she was going to take out her anger on Faith. I think Jordan was the one who's been behind all of the bullying all along. And when Sharon pinned Jordan down, that was Jordan's last straw for pretending to be friendly with Faith. I think Jordan's a total maniacal sicko who's behind it all. It was all a setup. And next week, oh my goodness. So, I mean, say what you will, that preview just about blew my hair back. Someone managed to capture a photograph of the precise 5-second window when Adam and Sharon were in a lip lock. I mean, that is like some next level stalking and bullying right there. That kiss didn't last long enough for anybody to get their phone out. Oh, that's going to be so good. And you know that photo is going to make the rounds too. Everyone is going to see it. Faith, Ray, Chelsea, Nick, the gardener, the pool boy, the stable hands. Because you know Billy's probably going to turn around and publish it on the Chance Com website. Oh, good. Finally, we're back to Naya and Amanda and their mother-daughter story. I was starting to feel afraid that maybe Naya was gone forever. But then she showed up looking like she had been rifling through Gloria's closet in that tropical print blouse with the leopard print collar. Yes! I like that fashion choice. You know, Gloria was wearing leopard print both before and after it was popular. She never stopped. Gloria picked leopard print, said, "This is the print for me," and she just kept going with it. I mean, it's come in and out of fashion several times over the decades, and she never dropped it. Now Naya's picking up the torch. Oh, Naya's meeting did not go well in Amanda's eyes, though. But I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised with how far emotionally Naya had evolved. I mean, this was a huge emotional evolution for her. Naya went from practically slamming the door in Amanda's face to begging her to get to know her, to have a relationship. I mean, the problem is, and I get this, Naya wants to have a relationship with Amanda without her daughter, Imani, and without her husband knowing. I mean, this creates such an interesting conflict for Amanda, though. Because hearing her mother say those words, begging to get to know her, that's all Amanda has wanted from the very beginning. But should she take those words? Should she take that offer and have a relationship with Naya if it means that she has to live as if she's Naya's dirty little secret? I mean, that's a pretty big exchange. The relationship with your mother that you've always wanted, or your pride. Oh, I love that, and I think Amanda made the right decision. It was the harder decision, and sometimes the harder decision is just the one that you know is right. A relationship is a two-way street. It can't always be on one person's terms, Sharon. The relationship has to have a give and take. I mean, it can't be like, I'll give you my love and attention. I'll treat you like my actual daughter as long as you don't tell anyone about it. No, that's not fair. That's just not fair. And starting out a new relationship on that note is bound to go flat. Amanda and Devon have a comfortable evening together at his condo, which turns into a comfortable night upstairs in his bedroom. What if Amanda and Elena are both pregnant now? Ooh, one baby for Devon and one baby for Nate, or it could be 2 babies for Devon. And then Devon can also donate his sperm to Abby, and there will be 3 babies for Devon. Yes, that's how the numbers shake out. 3 pregnancies, and they're all Devon's by various means. Oh. I was all in on Amanda and Devon. You know I love that. It was nice and slow and relaxing and comfortable, and I laughed out loud when Devon suggested that Amanda stay overnight, and she took a beat, headed straight for the staircase, walked up it like she knew exactly which was his bedroom. Like, it could be the 7th door on the left. How would she know? She just walked right upstairs like she knew where his bedroom was in her mind. That was good. And they did it like 3 times to seal the deal, too. It wasn't one sex. They did it a couple of times to make sure that this pregnancy took. Oh, I guess they must have really worked up an appetite for that butter pecan ice cream. Butter pecan ice cream, can we all just agree that that is so Devon appropriate? That is exactly the ice cream he has in his freezer. I am an ice cream aficionado, and as soon as it was being made known that it was butter pecan, I said, oh, that is so right. That is so right. And so Devon. Buttery and creamy all at the same time. But I tell you, I took offense to Amanda's implication that there's something wrong with people who like mint chocolate chip. Because mint chocolate chip is my favorite. What does that say about me? I'm a psycho? I'm completely normal. Oh, there's absolutely nothing unhinged about me, and I love mint chocolate chip. I also would love to know what specifically the recipe was that Amanda and Devon made together on their date. Amanda told this wonderful, touching story, but like heartbreaking story about how this recipe she was making for him, she had learned from one of her foster families. And I just kept thinking, what is it? What is it? Somebody tell me. What was she making? I saw carrots and grapes in the grocery bags that she brought in. Carrots and grapes, and she mentioned that there were biscuits that needed to be put in the oven. So I guess it's Amanda's former foster parents' famous biscuits and carrots smothered in grape sauce recipe? I don't know. Someone tell me. I really enjoyed those scenes, though. That was fun. It felt very personal. It felt very private. It felt very intimate, even though it wasn't physically intimate. Devon told the story of his tattoos. And I thought, oh, well, that is so clever, the way that Y&R has folded Brighton's personal real life tattoos into the character of Devon and use that as a way to tell his story. It was cool. Music and film are clearly very important to Brighton. That seemed to be the main theme of his tattoos. And I'm not a tattoo person, so I probably sound stupid talking about them. But I just visually and artistically really liked the cherub with the electric guitar, and I also liked that all of the tattoos as a whole were one color. It all looked very consistent and planned, and it was a beautiful portrait. I kind of wonder if the one on his, let's see, it would have been his left arm, I think. I wonder if that work on his left arm was newer. Maybe that's something he just recently got done, because I feel like we've seen the other arm with the lion a couple times before when he was with Hillary, but I don't think I've seen this arm before. So it was a really interesting and clever scene. And speaking of Hillary, I thought it was weird that Amanda, after they'd had sex, took a moment to ask Devon if he was over Elena. I really would have thought that what would have been on Amanda's mind was, are you over Hillary? Maybe checking in with Devon to see if he had any mixed feelings about sleeping with a woman who looked exactly like Hillary. Might he be thinking about Hillary? I don't know. I guess that was Elena's burden to carry. The Hillary burden. But everybody who sleeps with Devon is, I guess, destined just to be wondering if he's sleeping with them while thinking of someone else. Elena and Nate tried getting some oceanside romance, but Elena kind of spoiled it when she called Nate by Devon's name. She called Nate Devon. I'd have scrambled and said, oh, I'm sorry, I meant to say, I think I left the oven on, not Devon, not Devon, you filled my heart tonight. Whoops, whoopsie. Oh, Elena, that was good though. I mean, that was good. That was good. She tried to scramble, and she tried to cover it up, and she lies, says that she doesn't think of Devon in that way anymore. Whatever, Elena, whatever. You don't think of Devon in that way anymore. She tells Nate, my mind and my heart is in this room with you. More lies, lies, lies. Why is she lying to herself? Never mind the fact that she's lying to Nate. We can deal with that later. But why is she lying to herself? But, she wasn't able to fool Nate. Nate knows the signs. Elena cheated on Devon with Nate. So Nate darn sure knows how Elena acts when she's trying to cover something up. All of that accidental sex that Elena keeps having, it's like she's prone to keep getting herself into these accidental sex situations, and Nate's hip to it. He asks her if something happened. You're acting funny. Did something happen? And she confesses yes, followed by a string of excuses. I just don't understand why Elena is forcing herself to be with Nate when she wants to be with Devon. She totally could have Devon if she played her cards right now. So why doesn't she just do that? She was dreaming of Devon last week. Why doesn't she just go get him? Is she punishing herself? Is Elena trying to either punish herself or maybe trying to justify the fact that she slept with Nate by trying so hard to make it mean love? Well, I think Nate deserves better than a woman who can't even get his name right. For shame. when Elena calls Nate by Devon's name and then she tells him that she slept with Devon, Nate's like, I just got to get out of here. He's got some thanking to do. Yeah, Nate, you got some thanking to do, man. Like, he comes back to the room after a night of sleeping on a patio chair outside. And he's heartbroken. He's absolutely heartbroken, yet he takes the time to sit there and do some more talking with her, acting like her feelings are the most important ones in the room. And they decide to cut the trip short so they can both go home and do some more thanking. Well, Elena gets home. She gets back to Genoa City. She runs into Devon almost immediately at the coffee house. Tells Devon that Nate knows what they did. I thought that was an interesting way of putting it. Devon said, oh, does Nate know what we did? What we did? Oh, you mean the sex? You mean the sex that you had on your living room floor? Yeah, he guessed it. He guessed that whole thing. It's bugging me because I feel frustrated, surprisingly frustrated by Nate's reaction to all of this. Like, Nate's reaction is way too tame right now. He should be as mad and frustrated as I am. Nate should be all up in Devon's face the way that Devon was all up in Nate's face. That's fair play. And Nate should not, above all things, he should not be still trying to work things out with Elena. I don't care if they were technically not committed at the time last week when she slept with Devon. She slept with her ex while she was dating you and then let you take her on a tropical vacation. Nate, this makes you the rebound guy. Wake up and move on. Mariah tells Devon about her plan to help Abby have a baby, and Devon's like, hey, I've got some sperm to spare. I've got plenty of sperm. Lots of sperm, so might as well spread some around. Hey, Devon, you don't have to be the father of the entire next generation of the Genoa City population. I appreciate the effort, but you don't need to be the godfather, the father of all the children, in addition to being the person who officiates every wedding. You can just chill. What? Devon is going to be the bio dad to Abby and Chance's baby. Plus, Amanda and Elena are both going to be having his babies because he slept with them both this month. What? Wow. That's not what I predicted. I'm starting to like my prediction better, oddly. So, okay. Here we are. Do you like it? Do you like this where we are? I'm gonna make our poll question this week the following. Should Abby keep her surrogacy plan without Chance in the picture? Is it surrogacy yes or surrogacy no? Go to yrchat.com because we've entered into a whole new unexpected realm of this. And I just think it's weird that Abby is sticking her head in the sand about Chance being gone and choosing to move forward with this without him. It's as if Chance is as incidental to Abby as he was to the show. I mean, I will give it that there's some drama here, but it's getting the fans fired up, I think, but I don't know if it's a good kind of fired up. I question this decision. It feels like if Y&R was going to dump Chance, I wish they would have dumped the surrogacy storyline too. It just doesn't feel right that Abby would be doing this without him, no matter what he said and asked her to do in a letter. And why are we even pretending that Chance is ever coming back? He's gone. We will never see him again. And I think the idea is, okay, well, Abby wouldn't be moving forward with the surrogacy if she had just lost her husband, and damn the torpedoes, we have got to do this surrogacy storyline for whatever reason. And then later Abby can get a message from Christine after the insemination has happened, and then she'll figure out the Chance is missing in action. He's presumed dead, and then Abby will spend, I guess, the rest of the year mourning Chance while taking comfort in the baby that is not, never was, and never will be his. I just find it funny that Chance's favorite movie is Groundhog's Day, because it feels like Abby is stuck in a cycle where every day is the same heartbreak. Well, I guess I'll hope for the best and prepare for all other eventualities. That was our Who Said It quote from the week of February 4th to 8th, 2019. That was our Who Said It quote from 2 years ago. I was expecting absolutely no one to guess that it was Victor, but I was also feeling very Victor-centric last week. So the answer's Victor. And a couple of you guys actually got it right, including Daisy, who is on a pretty good winning streak here, and Lynn, and Southside Granny, and oh yes, let's get the drum roll, please. Henry did indeed get it right. Victor was the answer from 2019. He was under arrest for JT's murder. Oh, yeah. That was 2 years ago, and that was a pretty blah period of Y&R for me. I think that's about where things started getting a little unforgivable to me. But hey, we've got lots of new action for this week, so I could pick a new quote for the week. Who said it? Isn't it comforting to know some things never change? Isn't it comforting to know some things never change? Oh, I will second that notion. And if you think you know who said it, then you go on over to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out on next week's Y&R Chat. Well, let's dip in to a few comments from the website here, starting with Ellen. This is big news. Ellen says, wow, exclusive. The Young and the Restless Daytime Emmy nominee Sasha Calais, I'm assuming I'm saying her name wrong, has scored the feature role of DC Universe's new Supergirl. The Boston, Massachusetts-born Colombian actress is the first Latina Supergirl ever in DC and was chosen from more than 425 actresses who auditioned. She will make her debut in Warner Brothers' The Flash. Wow. Oh, congratulations, Sasha. I mean, that is fantastic. Oh, she is on to bigger things. Bigger things for sure. I mean, maybe Lola has been missing from the Y&R canvas lately so that she could go through all of this process of auditioning. I'm sure it's grueling and time consuming, and who knows, maybe she won't want to stay at Y&R anymore. I mean, getting the lead in a DC movie right as they're starting to build their movie universe to compete with the Marvel movie universe. I mean, that is a big deal. That is a money gig. I'm going to go ahead and assume that there's some money in that gig. I mean, that is a life changer. So, wow, congratulations to her. Wonderful. Oh, let's move on and talk about hot topic, Adam and Sharon. T. Nicole says, does Adam even feel guilty about kissing Sharon? I just feel for Chelsea because all of her concerns and insecurities going through her mind are absolutely correct. Please let Chelsea be able to communicate secretly with Chloe about this and her suspicions. T. Nicole, this is interesting because, yes, when all of this first started, it seemed like it was in Chelsea's mind. She was just having these fantasies, but now those fantasies have come true. What Chelsea was fearing in her mind has now become reality. And yeah, where is Chloe with the ability to read Chelsea's mind? Superplex says, wait a minute. Didn't Nick just answer Chelsea's internal monologue? That was a great moment. I'm glad you mentioned the Superplex because, yeah, there was a moment where Chelsea said something and then Nick repeated it. And I got my hopes up thinking perhaps Nick was able to read her mind and to communicate. I mean, it seems like maybe we're just seeing Nick being able to act out the fury about this that Chelsea only wishes she could. How much longer will Chelsea be immobile? And at this point, if she knows for sure that something's going on between Adam and Sharon, I can't see her necessarily hiding her recovery. She might just full on recover and bust up out of that chair and give Adam and Sharon a piece of her mind, maybe say a goodbye to them, and maybe bounce her way into a Nick and Phyllis Chelsea triangle. It's possible. Victoria says, I've tried to go with the flow of the filming aspect of COVID restrictions. However, today it was so obvious. I wish they would think of more interesting ways to make the couples closer together. When Sharon was looking at Faith's album, Ray could have been behind her with a mask on, but only filmed from the waist down, or have had Mark Grossman film the scene without showing his face. When I want everyone to be safe, but I feel they're not thinking creatively at all. I have to tell you, Victoria, I keep feeling like Sharon and Ray are way further away than anyone else. Phyllis and Nick were passing a glass of champagne back and forth during their Valentine's Day scenes. They were touching the same glass. Devon and Amanda had a lot of intimacy this week that didn't feel like it was far apart. Elena and Nate were on the same bed. So why are Sharon and Ray halfway across the room? She was at one point in the week sitting in her dragonfly green chair, and Ray was sitting on the couch, but on the furthest way away part of the couch. What gives? What gives with that? It's like Y&R they want the viewers to feel the distance between Ray and Sharon, and that makes sense now, but it's been going on for a while. So it's been going on since even before she kissed Adam. So again, this has been in the cards. The Adam and Sharon reunion has been in the cards. It has been sideline Ray visually and story-wise for quite some time. Robbie says, Ray was on fire during his conversation with Sharon. I am so glad that he spoke his mind and stopped enabling Sharon in her infatuation for Adam. If Sharon is stupid enough to treat Ray like this after all he's done for her, then she deserves what's coming to her. This is an interesting point, too, because Ray stood by Sharon's side through cancer. That's not nothing. That's everything. And the fact that he asked her to do something to help him feel more comfortable in the relationship. I just would like to have seen Sharon taken that into consideration, not this week when Ray asked her to, but weeks ago when it was obvious that it was making him uncomfortable. He never wanted to pressure her into staying away from Adam. He had many opportunities and gave her the reins to make the decision. And I wish that she would have thought about Ray's feelings after everything he did for her and after everything they'd been through. I wish she would have thought about his feelings earlier and not have made him feel like he had to ask or put down an ultimatum. Tina Cole loved the scenes between Ray and Sharon and was on Team Ray all the way. I am happy he finally voiced how this closeness between Sharon and Adam is beyond uncomfortable and not acceptable. He cares and adores Sharon so much, and all of the support that he's given her through her breast cancer battle. Sharon, why are you kissing anybody a month after you got married? It is not only just a marriage betrayal, but it is such a betrayal of someone who was so there for her. It's not even any ordinary marriage. Like, they've been through the ringer. I mean, not only the relationship as it is, but just the fact that as another human being, Ray was so there for Sharon, and to lose herself so completely, even for 5 seconds, is really unbelievable. But then again, that is what soap operas are built on, that drama, drama, drama. I got lots of comments about Adam and Sharon this week. So in that way, it's been kind of successful in getting people talking about the show, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether you hate this, whether you love this. I do think that this has definitely gotten people talking and feeling, and it got us some great passions from Ray, great passions from everybody involved. Sharon Case, Mark Grossman, and Brini says, wonderful acting by Jordi Villasuso. If they would write better material for him, other than the doting husband, we could really see what a good actor he is. Maybe now we will. I'm annoyed with Sharon, especially after everything Ray has done for her. I don't want him to be hurt like he was with Mia. If Sharon's heart isn't with Ray, they shouldn't have married in the first place. But I'm here for the love scenes. Even if it's a dream or it doesn't make any sense. If they break Sharon and Ray up, what about a pairing for him with Tracy or Ashley? Or imagine Ray with Lily. Fire. Oh, yes. There's lots of other possibilities for Ray. I think there's lots of other directions we could take him in that aren't even romantic. Here's a great idea from Sherrod, who says, as good of a man as Ray has been, I now want him to do some nefarious things. Ray and Faith have both been betrayed by Sharon. She must be dealt with. Okay, yeah, I like the idea of this turning Ray in a dark direction. I think that's really a good way to turn up his character. Good suggestion. Always Smile, I love the name. Always Smile says, why do Sharon and Nick allow their daughter to speak so disrespectful and then blame Adam for every bad thing that happens? They've definitely given Faith a lot of leeway in the way that she treats him. I think Faith earned a lot of good cred just by being a good kid for so long, but she sure is burning through it now. And also, I mean, yeah, if Sharon, it's not as if Sharon is not responsible for her own actions when it comes to Adam. I think everyone so clearly wants to blame Adam, jump on Adam about it, but Sharon knows what she's doing. She's culpable for her own actions. And I think everyone is gonna see in full color photo next week that Sharon has been a very willing participant in everything that's gone on with her and Adam. And on the flip side, let's now hear from Team Shaddam. Southside Granny says, I must be the oddball because I enjoy the Adam and Sharon duo. The spark of their personal lives really came out. Also, after Jack's conversation with Wicked Sally, I appreciated his look of defeat, knowing that he was just too old for her. But still, that would be one hookup that I would hate to see. Yeah, is that how you interpreted it? That's interesting that Jack maybe realized that he was out of his league a little bit there. I don't know. But no, I don't think you're alone in enjoying the Adam and Sharon duo. Ellen says, Shaddam! Ray drops the ultimatum on Sharon and boom, a passionate Shaddam kiss right in public. For those of us who remember the glory days of Sharon and Adam, it's very satisfying. Victor foreshadowed it. They are always drawn to each other. I do feel for Ray, but here's a tip. If you have to order your wife to stay away from someone, your relationship is already in trouble. Who wants to live like that? Either you trust each other or you don't. I guess we'll have to see if Sharon runs away from her true feelings yet again. I remember the Sharon and Adam days too, and Chelsea really got in the way of that, didn't she? And it took me a really long time to accept Chelsea and to believe in that love that Adam had with Chelsea. And boy, I do feel like Y&R tossed it right out the window when they recast with Mark Grossman. But I agree with you. I have very much enjoyed the Shaddam chemistry over the years. And here you are pointing up that she just is always drawn back to him. I think in some ways it felt to me like Adam chose to move on with Chelsea and Sharon wouldn't have had it that way. I get my view of it was that it was more Adam that ended the relationship with them than it was Sharon. So she certainly does have some unfinished business here. And also, as you say, Sharon and Ray's relationship must have been in some trouble before Adam came along. I mean, it's not so much that Sharon and Ray have an issue of Adam. It's that Sharon and Ray have an issue of trust, and that goes very deep. If trust is not there, you just don't have the foundation to build on. It might have maybe been a good idea to figure that out a month and a half ago, though. Oh. Diana says, woohoo, Sharon and Adam. I have had to keep my feelings hush-hush until this aired in the States, but now I can finally cheer. I have enjoyed Adam and Chelsea and Sharon and Ray, but it's time for a change. Ever since Sharon and Adam had their rendezvous, I have not forgotten their great chemistry. Sharon and Ray were hot at the beginning of their romance, but have been very lackluster for a long time now. I would like to see Ray paired with Victoria. I think they'd be hot together. I like the idea of Ray and Victoria too. The only caveat to that is that I'm afraid he would just be getting into another situation where he's the third man or he's the guy that is second place. That's my only reservation about that. But yeah, I think in a lot of ways Sharon and Ray could have had a relationship that was built on a lot more and was a lot more passionate and was a lot more hot. But they were building it all up and getting right there right as COVID happened. And I do think in some ways it was a victim of that. Sharon and Ray can't have the hot scenes. Although I gotta say, Y&R's done a good job of making Nick and Phyllis very hot, even without the intimacy. I was laughing when Phyllis gave Nick the gift of the lingerie and she tossed the panties in his face. That was hilarious and fun and hot and sexy. So they're pulling it off. There's really no reason that Sharon and Ray couldn't have been given that opportunity too, but they weren't, and we are on to something new. There's no doubt about it. There's no going back for Sharon and Ray. That is done, done, done. Ooh, let's switch over to other hot topics, specifically Abby, the surrogacy, the choice of Devon becoming the sperm donor. Sharad says there is a lot of controversy with this storyline. There is currently a hashtag Stop the Surrogacy. No one wants this storyline. It's considered to be insulting on many levels. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that this is not popular. I think the reason that I don't like it, though, is more because it just feels like a clunky story. It feels like Y&R is trying to piece together some scraps of somewhere that they were going to go, that they were planning to do. And I just wish that they would have chosen to write a new story for Abby, a happy story for Abby, and let Mariah and Tessa have the baby and the wedding or whatever they want. And the Devon piece of it, well, he's got a lot going on right now. I don't know that he needs to be donating sperm on top of it. Devon just needs to focus on, does he want Amanda or Elena and which baby's going to be his or not? And I don't know. I think Devon might be biting off more than he can chew in this scenario. Ellen says, hey, Abby, ask Ray. He's always wanted to be a father. Then you can fall in love when Chance is presumed dead. Oh, Ray could be the surrogate and fall in love with Abby. I like that. Or how about Nate? How about Nate? Somebody needs to appreciate him. Superplex says, here's a good way for Dr. Nate to get back at Devon. Tell Amanda that he slept with Elena. Yes, that would be the dramatic thing to do, right? Nate is being such a weenie. Such a weenie for Elena. He needs to dig in. Tell Amanda the truth. Tina Cole says, poor Amanda, once the truth comes out, she will be hurt by Devon. I know it. I know it. It occurred to me this week on the Valentine show that Amanda is the only one in this quadrant who doesn't know what happened. So Amanda's alone in the dark over here. Oh, that's sad, especially when Amanda has all this personal stuff going on in her life. She was really finding comfort and solace and support with Devon, and now she's going to have to find out that he did this. And yeah, it was before they slept together, so technically, whatever, still a betrayal, still not honest, and it's still gonna hurt. Victoria says Devon's body of work was an interesting way to help Amanda and newer viewers understand what's important to him. Amanda and Devon have great chemistry and are very believable. I was wondering, however, what does the thinking man tattoo on the back of his left bicep mean? What's that mean to Devon? We got a quick peek of it when he showed the bull. Could he be thinking of Elena? I was also wondering what the A stood for. I'm sure all of this information is out there, but I just haven't dug really deeply on it. But he also had a big letter A on his back. What could that be? What's his sister's name? Anna. Maybe that's what it is. It's Anna. The A stands for Anna. How about a couple of style notes? Phyllis says, I feel that the hairstyles of Abby, Victoria, Summer, and Sally could be more professional. I love the show and have been a fan for many years. And P.S. Lily's hair is great. Oh, Lily looks so good. Love those soft curls. And I think this is an interesting point. That Abby, Victoria, Summer, Sally, they're all these high-powered business ladies. They definitely have the casual hair. It's interesting. I never thought of it that way before. That most definitely, no doubt about it. Some of the styles and the outfit choices that these ladies wear to work are not quite appropriate. Diana says, does anyone else feel like Sally needs to tone down her makeup a little? It's too heavy for daytime. It looks more like evening makeup for going to a club. Her lipstick is very dark. Are the characters still doing their own hair and makeup? Oh, I don't know. Oh, does anybody know if people are still doing their own hair and makeup? That's a great question. And Tony agrees with you, Diana, saying Sally presents as a B&B character in Genoa City. Look at her hair and her makeup compared to the Y&R characters. She's harsh versus subtle. Yeah. That what she had going on Friday, it looks beautiful. She looked beautiful. The blazer with I don't know the name. It was sort of a plaid blazer with some sparkles in it. The dark red hair, dark lips, dark eyes. It's not a bad. It's not my favorite style. I prefer it a little lighter. But it's not a bad style. Like Diana said, if you were going out, it was really severe though for daytime. And as Tony says, it was a really noticeable contrast. Sally looks different from the other Y&R characters. In some ways, I think that is in favor of her appeal, but in others, I can definitely see why that makes it seem as if she doesn't fit on the show. Let's talk about Kyle here, because Diane K says, I'm going to admit, I'm glad Kyle is squirming. He's been too self-righteous for too long. Yeah, and how about Kyle's hair? He's got some crazy hair sometimes too that seems to match his crazy life right now. I like the character of Kyle, but mostly because, as you say, Diane K, I like watching him squirm. I like Kyle with a little egg on his face. Michael Mueller just plays the foil, the butt of the joke so well, and it's a comedic performance in a lot of ways, but it's also serious at times. So the role that he plays is perfect. Michael plays it perfect. There are times when I root for Kyle, but there's probably more times when I'm rooting for Kyle to get a pie in the face. Well, let's talk about my man, Bill Spencer. Jamie, you knew I'd pick this comment. Jamie says, be still, my beating heart. Don Diamond is one beautiful man. Bill Spencer certainly has some cocky snark to him, but his master of the universe ego is perfect fuel for soapy drama, and I love it. Well, I love it too. And you know I do. Did you happen to notice I've got a little shrine to Don Diamond and Brad behind me today. If you're not watching the video, you should go to yrchat.com to see. I did a little collage of Don Diamond and Brad. I've got his book up here. I have the People magazine picture. He was in Playgirl too. He's on the cover of Playgirl magazine. I've got that up there if you zoom in and look. I got an old picture of him and Lauren and just a couple other pictures of him looking beautiful and bold. And I have to say, it's not his personality that attracts me to him. He does have the Masters of the Universe ego that Jamie's talking about. And that's not attractive to me personally. It's the sense of humor. They always say women like a sense of humor, and I do. And also the body. I like his body. Oh, and his voice. Superplex says, Don Diamond puts on that Christian Bale voice whenever Bruce Wayne dons the Batman outfit. I never thought of this, Superplex, but you're so right. He does use Batman voice. And I don't remember him ever doing that as Brad on Y&R. That seems like more of a Bill thing, but he has that low, gravelly kind of Batman voice. Oh, he'd be a good Batman. He'd be my favorite Batman. Oh, hey, let's talk about our poll question from last week. I asked you if you would buy that Paramount Plus subscription if it were the only way to watch Y&R. Now, of course, there's many, many different ways to watch Y&R now, 100% for free, as it has always been. But I thought it was a nice hypothetical question to ask if you'd pay for Y&R. 46% of you said, no thanks. I like the price exactly what it is right now, $0 for free. I'd have to stop watching if they started charging. That's half. I mean, that's about half. 33% said, yeah, I'd pay $10 a month to watch Y&R. And 22% of you are already subscribed to CBS Access, which will then roll in to Paramount Plus starting, I think it was March 4th. Would I pay for Y&R? I didn't answer this question myself last week, but I voted yes. I definitely voted yes. I would pay $10 a month for Y&R. It would be begrudging. I'd be like, but at the same time, I think there's plenty that Paramount Plus also seems to offer that I could get into. But even if it was just Y&R, you gotta pay $10 a month just to only watch Y&R. I think I'd say yes. The fact that it's the Paramount Plus package really is a cherry on top of the cake. I think I would buy it. Robert says the show'd have to be better than it is now to get him to buy it. I think there would be some changes, certainly, if all of a sudden Y&R moved to a subscription model. Sharon says, I started watching when I was 12 and now I'm 54. But as much as I'm nostalgic about the show, the current storylines and the all-over writing would not drive me to subscribe to watch. By the way, I watched the show live, but only over the last year due to working from home. Before that, it was on demand on the weekends. I bet a lot of people do on demand on the weekends. But, Sherrod, from 12 to 54... I mean, here I was last week talking about my stretch of adolescence that I gave to Y&R viewing, and here you are from 12 to 54 is quite a stretch, and I think it's just amazing. I love that. Victoria voted yes that she would pay for Y&R, saying, I cut my cable cord a long time ago. I've been streaming, and I find it easier than I feared. I have fast, reliable internet, which, hey, that sounds like a commercial. Do you have Comcast? Fast, reliable internet. But I only have to subscribe for the things that I want, and I can cancel anytime. I'm a die-hard soap opera fan, and I would pay for the privilege of seeing the shows. If I wanted to rewatch something, it would be pretty easy to do from the Paramount catalog. I can't imagine a weekday without visiting the Newmans, the Abbotts, the Winters, and the Fishers. I cut my cable cord a long time ago, too. I mean, I haven't had any kind of cable probably in 10 years. Like I've said a million times, I just get that HD TV antenna, and that plugs into, you just put there's like a signal that you put up high. I have it hidden, so you can't really see it, but it's a little signal that brings the free stuff into my house, and then I connect that to my TV, and then I have also a recorder that I plug a hard drive into, and I've programmed it to record Y&R on a daily basis. Then, after the show airs live, I pull my hard drive, plop that onto my computer, and I sit and watch it on my laptop, which is a long way around, and that's not how I've always done it, but that is how I do it now, and it works for me. I'm able to skip those commercials and do it how I like it. I steer clear of subscriptions. Everything seems very subscription-y right now. And I in general, anything subscription, don't matter if it's TV, otherwise, I think subscriptions are a quick way to lose your money. You just take your eye off of your subscription and it's still charging you every month. And then before you realize, it's like, hey, I didn't use that. And you still paid for it anyway. So I just don't, I like to just buy things. I buy the thing I want, you give me the thing, and then I move on with my thing. But Paramount Plus is tempting. There could be a day where I could do it. And Victoria says, FYI, Paramount Plus is having a special. If you sign up before March 3rd, it's 50% off. That is hard to say no to. I did look into that. So CBS All Access is converting to Paramount Plus, and I guess for the 50% off deal, you get limited commercials for $60 for the year, no commercials for $100 for the year. Man, but the thing is, they jack the price up after the second year. You know, it'll be like $250. And they're all used to it. So I can't do it, especially when I know I'm getting Y&R for free. I can skip through the commercials. But Paramount Plus has a good catalog of stuff. And like you said, too, it would be nice to go back and watch the old episodes. I would love it if they put some classic episodes on there. I think the $100 a year, woo! But then again, $10 a month for Y&R, yes, I would do it. But since I don't have to, I don't know that I would. Marianne V says, I I'm already a subscriber and I enjoy having it. Watching Y&R with no commercials, it's a godsend for preemptions that are only in New York, which happens quite a bit here. The problem is when, like me, you have more than one of these, like Hulu, Netflix. And at first, I didn't want to pay for a channel I already have on cable, but it is nice for primetime shows as well as soaps that you don't get to see or want to see again. I have no doubt I would enjoy it. I know I would. There's some good stuff there. They have some classic stuff in there, old sitcoms, old shows. They got movies. I mean, they got like Nickelodeon. They got a bunch of channels. Boy, would I sure love to be able to set this kid in front of Nickelodeon for a couple of hours. Yeah, that'd be like the holy grail. Doing things old school over here. Well, I love this point from Kamna, who says, subscriptions may be a new dawn for soaps. They could market it as an all-year-long daily binge. And you could also get a bit edgier if it's not on broadcast TV. There's two just excellent points here, Kamna. First of all, it's a daily binge. People want that. That is a wonderful selling point for soaps. But also, oh my, edgier. How about that? Y&R, but edgier. Would you like that? What if there were, would you still watch Y&R if, I don't know, what other things could they get away with? Probably language, probably violence. I'm not sure what all else you might see. More mature audiences. Would you like that if Y&R was a little bit edgier? I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting concept. It's an interesting idea. But I can't like the tone of my soaps being, there's a lot of edgy stuff. I don't know. What if like all of a sudden they were showing more skin or more of the love scenes, or what if they were cursing? I don't know. I don't think I want that, but I bet there's a lot of people who do. I'd go with it. I'd still watch it. Wendy says, I've been watching Y&R my entire life with a few breaks here and there, but steadily for the last 10 plus years. Currently, I stream it on YouTube TV, but I watch it every day when I get home. It's my relax the work day away. Yeah, YouTube TV. I didn't even know that existed. I knew there was the YouTube Red and commercial-free stuff. So YouTube TV must be a part of that. And you must be able to stream some stuff too. There's so many options now. Just so many. Diana says, I record the episodes currently, but I can also get them on demand with only one commercial between breaks. I choose to watch the recordings as the on-demand is always one episode behind. I sometimes stream it online at Global website, but only if the episode didn't air live for some reason. Okay, so you record them, but you can watch them on demand, but you're a day behind. Like, you're in Canada, so then you'd have to watch it on our poor US schedule, 1 day behind. It's sad. It's hard being a day behind. It is, because it's like, everybody else is getting the good stuff ahead of you. It's hard. But Global TV, now that's, I think, only in Canada, right? Because I've seen that they have Y&R episodes there, and I have made attempts in the past to go to their website, and you can't get it if you're not in Canada or one of the other. You can't get it if you're in the U.S. You can't watch them through there, but you could get a VPN and watch them, or watch it there a day ahead, right? Oh, Tina Cole says, as tough of a decision as it would be, I think I would pay $10 a month to keep watching Y&R. If the price increased, the decision would start to be more questionable. I don't know how much time-wise I would be able to watch other shows based on this subscription. Yeah, $10 a month would be $120 a year. Yeah. So, I mean, they're offering that for cheaper now. I think that this has been an interesting question and an interesting conversation on a week where we didn't have a whole lot else going on. I like what Gary's bringing to this conversation by saying, the question is, would a 64-year-old, which, by the way, pausing, is the median age of the Y&R viewer, 64 years old. Gary says, the question is, would a 64-year-old want to buy the Paramount subscription? Some may not want to be challenged by the technology of the new order. Others may not want to be challenged by it, but are so loyal to the show that has been such a big part of their lives that they would be willing to do so. What I think people would not be open to in any way is a challenge of the format of their watching, which is 5 days a week, daytime viewing. A soap is not a soap if it is not in its familiar mode of transmission. The quality of a particular soap is only a certain percentage of its appeal. The idea of it being live every day as a companion piece to one's own life is where it's at. 1 day a week episodes would 1 day a week episodes would completely change the magic of the formula, and the content of the show would have to be on such a superior level that it could completely stand on its own. In this way, the soap would cease to be a soap and then would be just another 1 hour drama in the continuation format. Do the new executives work within the framework of their 64-year-old fan base? Or is the objective to turn the show around to a younger audience as the old ones eventually die off? How to please both. Oh, Gary, there is so much good there. Yes. I mean, again, we're hitting on this appeal of the daily. The fact that, as you so beautifully put it, that it's going alongside our daily lives. You remember where you were at the same time that maybe you remember where a character was. That is the appeal. That's what makes it a soap. Without that daily binge, as Kamna called it, it's not really a soap. It's a new format, and then things about it change. You get it once a week. It changes the dynamic of it and maybe the quality of it. But the other point that you make here is, how do the executives deal with the 64-year-old fan base who are potentially aging out and beyond? Do they do their marketing to the 64-year-olds, or do they try to grab those newer viewers so that they can make the jump over to the subscription model, hopefully later? It has to be a little bit of both. It has to be quite a delicate balance, and we have to give Y&R some credit for the wide range of audience that they're trying to accommodate that maybe other shows don't have. Not only that, but on top of that, banging out a daily show day after day. I mean, everybody who's done soaps talks about the breakneck speed, that it's an incredibly challenging medium to be in, and we certainly have to appreciate that and be thankful for that. Herman says, I could not believe the median age of the Y&R viewer is 65. It made me take a look at my decision-making skills. Like, why am I watching this show? I am obviously too young and obviously too restless. Well, even just taking a look at our poll results, it tends to be that maybe the majority of something of the viewers are 64, 65. I think it was 64. But that doesn't even necessarily mean that it's a lot. The majority can still be a small amount. I mean, if it's spread across all of the age brackets from 12 years old all the way up to 64, the majority may only be 20%, and the other brackets are smaller amounts than 10% or whatever. I don't know what the breakdown of all of the viewers are, but I think Y&R does have to appeal to the younger viewer, and I think it's obvious to me that is where they're targeting the stories. I mean, 64-year-olds probably aren't going through some of the things that our characters are going through right now. We're just at a different stage of life as we get older, and the show is, after all, titled The Young and the Restless. So they have to maintain that sense of youth about it from a branding perspective, too. Tony says, Y&R had a couple of key features that need to be started now to take it into the future. Number one, they need a rivalry that'll go on like Jack and Victor's. And number two, there needs to be a long enduring love like Nikki and Victor. That's so true, Tony. All of the stories happen so fast. All of the changes flip over so fast. There aren't long, enduring, epic rivalries the way there used to be, or long, epic, enduring love stories the way there used to be. Things really do flip over on the dime these days, and I don't think everything has to be long and enduring. The show used to drag. Let's be real. The show used to drag. You could probably miss a week and you'd still be in the same place you were. I remember feeling many times like, oh, this is taking so long. The Bill Bell writing style was slower and sweeter. The more modern style seems to be more fast-paced, but you lose more fast-paced, more drama, more interesting on a daily basis probably, but you lose some of that character. You lose some of those more long and enduring types of stories. But why not have one? Why not pick a couple? I mean, couples don't stay together at all anymore. And I think having that, counting on that, is something that the viewers like. And in that way, I like that Nikki and Victor are back together now. They're a couple that I wanted to see together. I was done watching their drama, done watching them go through divorces a million different times. I like that they're stable. They're something I can count on. Y&R is something I can count on. Mark says, some things need to happen, though, on the show. Not so much talk. We need happenings. I don't need a plane crash or a kidnapping every day, but something needs to happen every day. Order bones from Amazon or fly to LA to talk to Sally. That doesn't cut it for me. Ordering bones from Amazon or flying to LA to talk about Sally doesn't cut it for me. Oh, well, but what about ordering sperm from Amazon? Does that cut it for you? Okay, everybody, that cuts it for me for another week. Oh, Lord, please let my audio and video quality have been good this week. I've been struggling for the last 3 weeks to get into a new groove with it. I want my audio to sound good. I want my video to look good. And there's so many technical issues in pulling it all off. And I had it all down to a gnat. I knew exactly what I was doing back in the old setup, and it was working for me, but it wasn't really working for my daughter and for the personal part of me. This is a little better for me personally, but it's all new technical stuff I'm trying to pull together and make work. And boy, I hope I sound good. I hope I look good, and the video's not bad quality or bouncing all over the place. I'm sure you guys will let me know what you like, what you don't like, and what you're thinking about the show. YRChat.com is the website. You can go there, tell me everything that you're thinking and feeling about the show, and then come back next Sunday and we'll chat about it again. All right? I love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day Part 2. I'll see you next week. Bye.